You know that feeling when you're standing in the hallway of a coffee shop, watching a janitor pull a hefty, corded sweeper across the floor and you wonder if there's a lighter, quieter option that won't chew up your budget? I've been in that spot more than once, trying to convince a friend who runs a boutique gym that the right floor care tool can actually save time and back pain. Before you spend any cash, the link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's dig into whether the BISSELL BigGreen commercial BG697 battery-powered triple brush push sweeper is the kind of compromise you'll be happy with, or if you'd be better off sticking with what you already have. First off, the biggest hesitation most people have with any battery-powered sweeper is the fear of renewdifuse right in the middle of a cleaning run. The BG697 comes with a built-in lithium-ion pack that BISSELL rates for about 30 minutes of continuous sweeping. In real-world terms, that's roughly one full-size gym floor or a medium-sized restaurant kitchen before you need to pause and swap the charger. If you're a facility manager who cleans a 5,000 square foot warehouse in one go, you'll probably need a second unit or a quick plug-in period. For a small to mid-sized commercial space, though, that runtime usually covers the entire shift without a hitch. I tested it in a 200 square foot dance studio, and the battery held steady until the last corner was swept clean. What makes this model stand out is the triple brush system. The main front brush does the heavy lifting on dry debris, the side brush catches the edges, and a third, lower profile brush tackles fine dust and pet hair. In a pet grooming salon I visited, the middle brush kept pulling up the tiny hair clumps that usually get left behind on carpeted waiting areas. The result was a floor that looked almost as clean as after a professional steam clean, but in a fraction of the time. If your daily messes are mostly crumbs, dust, and a bit of hair, that 3-brush combo is a genuine time saver. Now, let's talk about the container. It holds 13.2 gallons of debris, which translates to about 50 pounds of collected material before you need to empty it. In a bustling coffee shop that sweeps every hour, the container never filled up more than half before the next break, meaning fewer trips to the trash and less interruption. That said, the container is made of polypropylene, so it's sturdy but not indestructible. I dropped it once when I was juggling a mop and the sweeper, and the latch cracked a little. If you're constantly moving the unit around a cluttered space, treat the bin a bit like a piece of glass handle with care, and you'll avoid that hassle. One hidden trade-off is the weight. Even though it's battery-powered, the whole machine sits around 25 pounds. Push it across a smooth tile floor, and it glides nicely, but on a high-pile carpet it can feel a bit sluggish, especially when the battery starts to dip. For businesses that have a mix of hard floors and thick carpet, you might find yourself swapping between the sweeper and a dedicated carpet vacuum more often than you'd like. That's not a flaw in the design, just a reality of trying to cover two very different surfaces with one tool. If you're wondering about noise, the BG697 is noticeably quieter than a traditional corded sweeper. In a library that uses it for nightly cleanups, the staff said the sound level was low enough that they could keep the doors open without disturbing patrons. For a small office or a retail store that wants to clean after hours without waking the neighborhood, that quiet operation is a real plus. However, it's not whisper quiet, you'll still hear the brushes, especially on rough concrete. If you need an absolute silent solution for a yoga studio, you might still need to schedule cleaning for when the room is empty. Who should consider buying this? If you run a medium-sized commercial space, think gyms, small restaurants, daycare centers, or any environment where you have a steady flow of dry debris and occasional pet hair, the BG697 checks a lot of boxes. Its battery freedom means you can sweep without hunting for an outlet, the triple brush handles mixed messes, and the sizable container cuts down on emptying frequency. It's also a decent fit for a homeowner with a large single-story house who wants to avoid dragging a cord around while tackling both hardwood and low-pile rugs. Who should skip it? Large warehouses that need to clear several thousand square feet in one go will likely run into the runtime limitation. Likewise, anyone whose floors are dominated by high-pile carpet will find the sweepers struggling to pull debris efficiently. Finally, if you're looking for a budget-only tool and you're comfortable with a corded model that can run indefinitely, the extra cost of the battery pack and the slightly heftier chassis might not justify the convenience. Practical strengths, in plain terms, are the flexibility of battery power, the versatility of 3 brushes, and the generous debris bin. Those translate directly into